Hey guys, welcome to Debatin with the Boys. I'm Alan.
I'm Luke, and today we're going to be discussing the recent spate of sexual misconduct allegations in the alternative music scene. Arguably the highest profile case, and I think is a good starting point, is Jake McElfresh, or some people know him, Front Porch Step.
Yeah, it was came about 18 months ago. No, not even that. It was earlier on this year even, where he came out about he had been talking to some underage girls, sending nudes back and forth, asking them to do not good things, like sending nudes and explicit text messages back and forth, and it all came out online essentially because one girl had enough and reported everything that he had done, showing text message conversations and saying that like when you turn 18, if I'm still single, I will marry you, was one of the text messages.
Yeah, there were some very explicit pictures within that. It all came out on the social media website Tumblr, very popular amongst people in the alternative music scene. And it's the username Graceful Booty. I'm not sure if the account is still active, but you can try searching for it. There's probably screenshots of it online for more research for you.
But it's still up.
There's about 6 girls in total who have accused Mr. McElfresh of these acts. He was signed to quite a high-profile little Pure Noise, bands like State Champs, Story So Far,
Census Fail Now,
Seaway,
Counterparts,
all on this label. So it is a big label in the alternative scene, and they got quite a bit of flack for this because of their inaction. As much as they are allegations, nothing's been brought against Mr. McElfresh legally. No. They seem to not really act on it.
No.
And they weren't alone in doing that either.
No, because after it all came out that this had happened, they were meant to play Warped Tour, and there was a change.org petition for to get Front Porch Step off of Warped Tour, and it was just the fact that he would have access to so many underage girls on this tour that a lot of people felt that he shouldn't be there because he's essentially like
a sex offender almost. He's not legally speaking. He is not legally speaking a sex offender, but that's what many people consider it. No smoke without fire, I think, would be the
appropriate term.
Now Warp did remove him eventually. It did take some time. They were quite bullish about it initially, but there was controversy on the Nashville date of the Warped Tour. Now Warped Tour obviously travels across about 40 dates across the summer in the US. At Nashville, Jake McElfresh from Front Porch Step played Warped Tour. Just that one stop.
On the acoustic stage, wasn't it?
Yeah, on the acoustic stage. And it didn't go down well at all.
It was heckled a lot. People saying like, "Oh, go fuck some little girls," I think, and there was some "fuck you asshole" kind of stuff,
Yeah. Like some members of bands playing that day really took offence to this. Soupy
from the Wonder Years.
Yeah, he was performing under his Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties, his side project.
Doing acoustic after them he was meant to play.
Yeah, and he just refused that day and tweeted out times of other bands playing that people should go watch instead. Buddy Nielsen from Census Fail also was very vocal about it, and there'll be more on Buddy later in the video.
But yeah, basically everyone was just like, "Oh, go see our friends in this band instead. Go see these instead," and it didn't go down very well at all. But eventually, Front Porch Step were dropped from Pure Noise even.
Yeah.
And at the moment they're not doing anything, I believe.
Yeah, he's been very. He hasn't said much about it.
Well, he has released a statement in the end, and he said. He goes on to say that he wants to say on paper, "I'm not like a paedophile. I'm not a predator. I'm not a rapist. I'm not a monster," is what he said. But he says these words, but inevitably he kind of is.
Yeah, it goes back on an earlier statement that he said, where he's saying like sensationalist allegations online when there was a lot of evidence actually posted by these girls.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a story, or he said, she said, that there was photographic evidence
he does kind of admit it as well, because in his final statement he says the quote of, "I didn't realise the gravity of what I was doing."
Yeah.
You know,
He apparently is in Nashville
now that's
sorting himself out.
trying to become a better person, as he put it.
Yeah. You know, as much as what he did is wrong, it is all the best to him. Because I do hope these people, you know, I do hope people can realise their actions and change. And, you know, if he comes out of it with more awareness, more education, and then to do so to others.
But I'm looking at it from like a legal standpoint. You know what I mean? Nothing's happened. No charges have been pressed. You know, he's just chilling in Nashville, as far as I know.
Yeah. Hopefully conquering his demons.
Yeah. But then, terribly for pure noise, wasn't it? It was like a month later, it was the No Good News, both the band and the news. That,
yes.
One of them had been, was it Harry Corrigan, had been sexually...
This wasn't in
forceful.
No Good News.
No, it was in his
So,
old band,
you know,
Bellwether.
for the rest of the band, you know, I don't think this should be brought upon them. Just he happened to be playing in No
band.
Good News at the time. It was with a former band of his, Bellwether, as my colleague just said. Apparently, he took a girl onto his van. I don't think lured is the right word. Took a girl on his van.
He said like, "Oh yeah, come to the van, I'll show you a video."
Yeah, I mean,
then,
you know, it could have been this band's new video that they were about to release, you know.
yeah,
Getting first look at that, if you're a fan, would be a great thing. And then, whilst on the van,
yeah,
it took a bit of a turn.
forced himself upon it.
Yeah, tried to make her perform sexual acts on him.
Yeah,
And then,
just in the end, ended up making out with her.
yeah.
She said that like she felt she had to play along to a certain degree to make it stop.
And then they come out of the van and all his friends are there, whooping and hollering, cheering him on. Which obviously is a very repulsive
Yeah, it's not good.
thing. So obviously with these two controversies, one after the other, Pure Noise was, as mentioned earlier, getting a lot of flack for this.
But they didn't do themselves any justice with this story at all. Because Jake Round released a statement that...
That's the owner of Pure Noise Records.
He released a statement that was both good and bad to what the current events that were happening. Like, he started out really well by saying, you know, we appreciate all the issues that have been brought to the attention. You know, we're going to do better checks and stuff in the future for bands that we're going to bring onto the label. Then he goes on to say about how his own personal problems and like makes a lot of his statement about himself, which is not like, you know, it's really well done, the fact you can own up and admit these things.
Yeah.
You know, well done, man. That's, you know, it's good that you can talk about it, but you completely, you know, missed the subject matter of what you needed to do.
Yeah, I think it was almost like he was trying to defend it somehow.
Yeah.
You know, he admitted you're going to do checks and that's great, but then it was almost like, yeah, we're not all that bad. Because I think these things. I'm liberal. I'm open. You know.
I think in his mind, what he was trying to do, he was trying to relate to the people that, you know, that had these things done to him, to them even, and it just, the way it was like brought across just seemed like it didn't hit the subject.
Yeah, it almost wasn't needed.
Yeah, exactly.
They could have kept it at that short statement, and gotten on. You know, put the issue to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Put the issue to bed almost. You know, I think many fans in the music scene would have applauded just saying the statement.
Yeah. And now, you know, Corrigan has released a statement saying, do you feel somewhat guilty? And he's left the band.
Well, they disbanded, actually. No Good News are no longer a band.
He left and then they disbanded. And but this is another case where nothing legal has been brought to the table. It's just, the story's just out there.
Yeah. Again, like, in some of the issues, I imagine it is difficult to bring things legally to the table. You know.
I know some people are scared
Some people are scared, and we'd say don't be.
Exactly.
We'd say don't be. Especially with, you know, it's
a serious.
These are touring bands, you know, it's...
Not even the fact they're touring bands, these are human beings. Like, you know, they're doing something that is completely, you know, against the, you know, ethical obligations, and it's like, just go to the authorities. If you really, you know, it's happening to you, then just do something about it. Like,
for example, like, you know...
It's easier said than done, but
yeah. if you do feel the need to speak up, I'd also go to the authorities as well. Like, putting it on social media is great. It raises awareness.
But then you don't want to, like, witch hunt at the same time.
No.
You don't want to go out of the way to just witch hunt people for the sake of witch hunting.
Yeah, and it has happened, again, in the alternative music scene. Recently with, I think, Neck Deep.
Yeah.
So Neck Deep, rising UK pop-punk act from North Wales. They've done American tours. They've done a split with Knucklepuck, I believe.
Yeah.
Big UK tour coming up next year.
With State Champs.
State Champs, Creeper on there. But they had a controversy going back a couple of months, about August.
That's when it all came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, regarding the now ex-guitarist, Lloyd Roberts.
Yeah. Basically, I think it's a few years ago now this all happened, but they were like he was chatting with some girl.
Nancy is the name. We're not sure for legal reasons if that is correct.
The allegations say that he was chatting with them. Well, she goes on to say that all of them except for the singer, including the tour manager and the tour photographer, were all talking to her and trying to get nudes off her, essentially, like saying explicit things to one another. But then she did say that Lloyd Roberts sent nude pictures back to her, and that's why everything got a bit, escalated with him, essentially. So, like, Lloyd at the time, Lloyd was like
around 18, we believe.
That it happened, yeah.
Yeah, there's no confirmed dates of these events taking place, but we believe it's around 18.
Well, she was 15 at the time, and I don't have the date here, but I did work it out, and I think Lloyd would have been around 18.
Yeah.
18, 19, something like that. And when it all came out in August, Lloyd was like...
on his Twitter.
He was like, if you... Well, I have this quote here. If anyone thinks I've done something wrong, please tell the police. I'll be happy to help. And he ended up actually going to the police himself to try and clear his name because everything was kicking off. He had stepped down from Neck Deep because he didn't want to, bring the band down because of these allegations. And
his family as well, so this is a side that nobody considers is these people have families, these have friends.
Exactly. He didn't want something that's been said against him to affect all these other people, so he stepped down. And now, literally like a week or 2 weeks ago...
it came out in the last month. North Wales Police had closed the case. They'd found him essentially not guilty.
They couldn't find enough evidence
of any wrongdoing.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a massive shame for for the band. This is a young man about to make a big breakthrough and a big jump in his life.
Yeah. He has released a statement saying he is going to continue doing music, but he wishes the Neck Deep boys are the best of luck. So it doesn't look like he's going to go back to the band at any point. Yeah,
I mean, I think they're all still friends. I think they all support him, and they respect his decision, of course.
Yeah.
But again, I think the police, in fact, said when they released the statement, that they wished so many people hadn't jumped on social, to be wary on social media.
Yeah.
Of making these accusations for a start, and then the reaction to accusations. It's a two-way street. I mean, you're going to get people who will instantly
believe everything they read,
bring out the pitchforks for the band.
Yeah, exactly.
Round up the mob and decree them monsters.
There's the people who are going to defend them.
Yeah, and there's people who will defend them. No matter what, people did with Front Row Step, people did with No Good News. Super fans of the band
will defend them. Yeah.
Yeah, will not believe this stuff. And
in this case, it turned out that I think it's fair to say that it was a load of rubbish, and maybe some
looking for a story, looking for a quick buck.
Potentially, yeah. Not saying this happens every time, but it looks like that time that's exactly what's happened.
No, and obviously these bands have been quite small. It does affect bigger bands as well. I think arguably the highest profile band possibly involved is Newfound Glory. I know what you're thinking. If you're a fan of Newfound Glory, recently, thinking those guys, no way.
Steve Klein, right?
The former guitarist.
Back in late 2013, early 2014, he was arrested for child pornography charges because he was talking to people on the anonymous like video chat website on Omegle.
Yeah,
And,
allegedly. Again, these are all allegations right now.
No, there is evidence of.
The other chat's
him
taking
being
place.
on.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's all in the legal system right now.
Still going on at the moment.
Yeah, still going on. It seems to be that he believed he was talking to people of a certain age.
I think there's evidence of them saying they are over 18.
Yeah, whereas in fact it turns out they are younger.
Yeah. A pediatrician who expert in sexual maturity says that the girls look between the ages of 9 and 16.
It's a pretty large
gap
age range to go
so
on.
There's obviously multiple girls he was talking to there, obviously. And, you know, I think it's fair to say that a 9-year-old does not look like an 18-year-old.
No, this is true. This is very true. You know, obviously we're not defending anybody involved in these cases. I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
We're just commenting on them before we get a load of comments going on to us. We're not defending. We are just commenting on them and saying that, you know, there are two sides to every story.
But yeah, this one, like, it's just to prove that when it does get to the legal system, it takes a long time.
Yeah, so it's happened well over a year ago, coming up to 2 years, in fact.
Yeah.
And it's been quiet for months. I mean, there's been very brief statements from lawyers.
Well, he's had a court case recently, but I don't think anything.
I think it was just a formality case. I don't think it was an actual case. I think it was.
It's just going over more evidence, kind
of.
But yeah, this case is still going on. Hasn't closed yet. But with all the charges that he's facing, he's looking up to 27 years in prison.
So I got to ask, you know, the show's debating with the boys. Do you think this is a big problem in the alternative music scene? Or, you know, do you think we're just finding small cases that are being blown out of proportion because of social media?
I think it's both. There is a lot of problems. Just looking at the recent post from
Buddy Nielsen of Census Fail. Alternative Press are running a feature on this as well, the US magazine. This is going to be an ongoing feature they're running, so I'd urge you to go to their website.
They just released they published an article that literally loads and loads and loads of accounts of these kind of things happening in like smaller scenes.
Yeah, I think
so. It's not just a big thing.
Yeah, I think Buddy Nielsen from Census Fail, who is quite an outspoken man scene, I think his quote on it, which I'm going to just read out now briefly. He says, the music scene is literally filled with dudes in bands who are trying to have sexual relationships with underage girls. It's fucking crazy. People in newer and younger bands are extremely uneducated as to proper behaviour. We are in serious need of people in the community to speak up and set examples of how to conduct yourself online, at shows, and in private. Because apparently there are a lot of men who aren't getting the message, don't care, and don't think their actions are causing irreversible harm. Silence on this is not an option because it's so widespread.
We've asked people what their experiences at shows and stuff.
Yeah, so because it's not just band members.
No,
that are being inappropriate. There are obviously, you know, that is happening, but it's also
gig goers as well. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, we asked a couple of people and they said that it's definitely happening, like having their ass touched or like
crowd surfing, people like touching them or trying to, you know, pull clothes off, whatever, you know, being really inappropriate when crowd surfing. I mean, they do appreciate that some contact is genuinely innocent.
Yeah.
You know, if you're being crowd surfed and it's going to fall on you and, you know, you're going to put your hands up, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's, you know, it is innocent, but, you know, there have been issues of malice there. I think indie artist Jeff Rosenstock, he put some tweets up in April about a girl being groped. I think there's a hand put up a skirt in one of his shows. He wasn't aware of it at the time. He asked, you know, the crowd if anything was going on. They were all like, yes, it's all fine.
Yeah, obviously.
But he was made aware via Twitter afterwards, and he goes on quite a very forceful rant on Twitter regardless. I think it's about April 17th if you want to go back and have a look at his Twitter, at Jeff Rosenstock. You know, it is an issue. You know, again, it's not like strictly in this scene. In the UK, the Premier League, there was a footballer a few months ago, Adam Johnson, accused of grooming underage girls. Obviously, there's some very historical cases going on in the UK right now as well.
Yeah, with the government, was it the Conservative Party, isn't it?
Yeah, cover-ups, Jimmy Savile. I'm
Savile.
sure most people are aware right now of all the historical allegations there.
Yeah.
And to other celebrities of that era.
But yeah, like, if this is happening to you and you feel like you want to say something, the best thing is not to start a witch hunt. It's to, tell someone that matters, like the authorities or a helpline.
Yeah, so if you're based in the US and you've got this, there's a text hotline put up by an indie band, Speedy Ortiz. A lot of credit to them for doing this. The number is 574-404-SAFE. So, you can text that. Again, any organisations like Samaritans,
Exactly.
will listen to you. There are police helplines. A lot of there's Safer Scene on Tumblr.
That's a pushing a big one at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, they're really pushing that right now. I definitely encourage looking that up. But again, and guys in bands, don't do it.
Exactly.
You are going to be in a position where you're on tour. You're going to have girls who might look of age, coming up to you, offering you things, being flirty, being chatty, generally worshipping the ground you walk on because
you're in a band that they love.
You're in a band that they love. Yeah, you mean a lot to them. But just just ask. It doesn't take 2 seconds to ask somebody's age.
And then don't do it if they are underage.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not cool.
It's just not cool. You could end up doing a lot worse things than,
Is it worth going to jail over?
Is it worth going to jail over? And you lose friends, you lose family over this. I think we're in a good scene. I think as much as these allegations are coming out.
Everyone that we asked, they said they feel a lot safer at smaller shows.
Yeah, I think with bigger shows, you've got, like the kind of anonymity, You can easily move. You can easily move away quickly if you've done something or.
Yeah, because there's a lot. It's like because there's so many more people, and obviously there is a lot of people there. I think people feel like they can do things and get away with it.
Yeah, which you can't. People going to gigs stop this as well.
Yeah, not just band members.
Yeah, it's not just band members. People go to gigs stop sexually harassing people. Essentially, it's
not right. At the end, it's just not like social etiquette.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if a girl's, don't let somebody drop to the floor. Don't feel it's all PC. Don't drop somebody just because you're like, oh my god, I can't touch their bottom because it's going to land on my, in case they kick off. Keep them up. But if you're standing behind them,
don't touch your ass.
Don't touch your ass.
It's not hard, man.
Yeah, but it's good that the scene has spoke up about these issues.
And it's trying to do something.
As much as some of the statements have been misguided. The intention is there.
Exactly.
I believe Kevin Lyman has spoken of for next year's Warped Tour holding like a boot camp almost to bands or like educational.
Oh yeah, he said he wants to like sit down with them all and chat to them all and stuff beforehand, didn't he?
Yeah, and I mean
which is a great initiative, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe is
that's a little too little. I don't think it's too little.
No.
I don't think it's too little, but
maybe I didn't say too little. I think
it's very reactionary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like going a bit too far. I think.
Yeah, and I think you've had bands kicked off Warped Tour for a number of reasons in the past.
Was it Gallows? With the slip and slide thing? Or did they actually end up not kicking them off?
I don't know. I'm not sure with that one, but I know Slaves were kicked off this year's tour for drug use.
Exactly. Anything is against the law, you're just not gonna.
Yeah, I've heard of bands being kicked off tour for like bad mouthing on stage.
Oh yeah, bad language. Yeah.
Yeah, not as much bad language, but like saying like really like quite.
I know that in like some states in America, you're not allowed to swear in public.
Yeah.
So like Florida, I think one of them is.
Yeah, and even just stuff like not mucking in, like on Warped Tour, every band has to cook for everybody else at one night.
Yeah.
If you're on for one date, you're off. But the bands who are there for chunks have to cook. You have to, they all help each other out. Loading the stuff because it's a massive thing. And I've heard bands being kicked off for just not mucking in, not doing their part really. So yeah, I think the thing is, don't do it. Just don't.
Yeah.
Just think carefully about what you're doing.
Plus, yeah, just.
And report it.
Yeah, report it. Do the right thing.
So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode as as somber as the topic is.
Yeah. But let us know what you think in the comments below. Carry on the conversation. We'll chime in as well.
Yeah, we'll do some, we'll keep on top of this issue. So if more stuff does come up, or if anything we've covered gets developed, we will come back and address this. Subscribe, which I think is down here somewhere. This is the first time I've ever done this, so I'm just going to point across the entire bottom.
Hit the like button, which is now just a thumb, so down
there. And let us know if there's any issues you want us to discuss in future videos. We're open to that as well.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching.
Thanks.